So a question that has been revolving around Destiny 2 right now is Frontiers going to be delayed? Is it going to be releasing way later than what we were originally expecting? Which, granted, though, Bungie has never gave an actual official date, but they did give us a generalization of when it may release, which they said in the roadmap, it said summer of 2025, which could be from like June, maybe to like the end of August. So it could be any of those months, but a lot of people just kind of assumed it would release kind of close to where Final Shape released, which is June or maybe latest like July. But with how this recent act has been released and Rite of Passage not happening until May, a lot of people's first like kind of defense of like, oh, it's not delayed was, well, Act 3 is coming out very soon versus like waiting another like month or whatever till like Act 3 would release. Normally they released it after like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that after Act 2 was released, which was really weird. Not complaining, that's nice, but it's gonna be one of those situations as if Frontiers doesn't come out until like August or September, we're gonna have another big long wait till obviously the first part of this expansion is released. And we've had this so many times. I mean, going as far back to Season of Arrivals, where we had to wait a long extra time till the expansion till that season ended. And they have done the Into the Light to like give us like something to do till the Final Shape would release. So then there wasn't just nothing for a good like 3 months or something like that. So Rite of Passage, a lot of people are assuming is basically the Into the Light answer for if there's going to be a delay. So what are my thoughts on it? And of course, I also want to add to the conversation, do I genuinely think that Frontiers may actually be good with how even just this recent episode has been going? We'll talk about that, like what I'm thinking, because I've already talked about how I've been playing way less Destiny 2 than I've ever have. And I've been playing just a lot of other games. I've been enjoying a lot of other games. I haven't fully quit Destiny. Like, I'll come back whenever there's like story stuff or like something that catches my interest. But there's been so many times where the issues that I have with Destiny, as in like where your playtime is not really that rewarded enough, has ruined my want to continue to play Destiny 2 at times when that just keeps happening, where I spend so many hours trying to get this one thing and I don't even get close to getting that thing. I get it, your scale issue, it's a looter shooter, you gotta deal with it, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm just like, oh, I'm exhausted with how these grinds have been. But yes, for starters, do I think Frontiers is going to be delayed? Well, for the most part, I'm still maybe expecting it to release around July, whether it be the beginning of July or the end. But worst case scenario, I could see it releasing in August. I don't think it's going to release in June because we have gotten zero info, zero gameplay, just all that we've gotten was like some concept art, obviously some details on like some of the things that they will be doing, like the tier loot and the armor system changes. But for the most part, we haven't really got much of anything else. Other than this is going to be like a change where there's mini expansions, 2 of them, with 4 seasons, so they're not doing the episode thing anymore because they realized, that this is not working, because it really wasn't. And the expansions, I assume I think they've stated that they would be like kind of like the size of like Shadowkeep or Rise of Iron, which, if done really good, that could be very good or very bad. Because if it's like the quality of like Shadowkeep, that could be kind of bad because Shadowkeep was not that great, in my opinion. But Rise of Iron, though, I mean, Wrath Machine, the story was pretty good. Like, the weapons were nice. The patrol was cool. Like, a lot of stuff in Rise of Iron was really nice. So, like I said, it really depends on the quality versus like, it's just not enough. Like, if the quality is really, really good, the quantity doesn't really matter as much depending on what it is. But when it comes to like just this whole expansion maybe being delayed, the reason why I think it might is, yes, the Rite of Passage not releasing at launch day when everyone was kind of assuming that it would, or maybe like a week later after Act 3 would release, because it is weird that Act 3 came out so early then when like there's not really too much with Act 3 other than we got the Sunless Cell Strike back. We do have some story stuff to return to week by week. The catalyst for the new exotic has been added. Like there's some things, and then there's also that tanks versus Briggs mode that I don't know if it's out yet, but I don't know when that's supposed to come out, but that's a thing, I guess. But other than that, I don't think there's much of anything for Act 3 other than, like I said, that Rite of Passage, which doesn't happen until May. So it is very weird. It is very weird that they're going this approach. I know that we still have Solstice as well for like the summer. Like if they decide to delay Frontiers and like, we could have Solstice at least, but even then Solstice, it can be very mixed. And they might do more. Like they might do like a little Into the Light thing on top of the Rite of Passage thing. Who knows? Or that might be it. Well, I guess, like I said, time will tell. The other reason why I feel like, though, it might be delayed is obviously just nothing. We have gotten no info. Like, if they were to just, like, say, hey, by the way, this expansion comes out in June, that gives them, like, 2 months of basically hyping it up, which normally I see Bungie doing that for, like, at least, like, 3 to 4 months or so when it comes to especially something that they want people to buy, because Destiny 2 has been in a very, very rough, like, state. Like, a lot of people have been not playing Destiny 2. A lot of people have been playing other games, just like how I've been. A lot of people have just fully stopped playing Destiny 2. And that's led to a very unhealthy amount of players playing Destiny 2 versus what would be a healthy amount to ensure good profits for the franchise, for Destiny 2. And we've already had Bungie basically make statements on how expensive Destiny 2 is just to keep going and keeping it like live and whatever. It's important to have a lot of people playing and also spending money. And if there's not many people playing, there's not many people spending money. So that's no good. So they obviously want to get people back on the game. That's the whole point. So I don't think that it's because they haven't shown us stuff fully, because what I'm thinking is if they were to show off a lot of stuff with Frontiers, it may lead to spoilers with the story of the current act. So what I'm going to assume is in the conclusion area of this act, there's going to be something that will lead us to go, oh, so that's where Frontiers kind of steps into the storytelling. Because like with Final Shape, we find out that we have Crow go through and whatever, ley lines stuff, make a wish with the dragon, but it's still like we kind of we knew that, okay, we're gonna go into the trailer, we just didn't know how. So if they were to just show gameplay of Final Shape, that was not a big deal because they didn't spoil how we got into the so with this case, how are we leaving the Sol system? Because that's the whole concept of us going adventuring out in the universe and whatever, I guess, which is cool, because I want there to be more to the story. I will also say we need to have new enemies to deal with, not copy paste like how they did with like the Taken or the Scorn, where it's like, well, it's Fallen but Frankenstein. I mean, fully new. Kind of like how Rolk was, but Rolk was the last of his kind because he killed his entire race on that planet, which was, yeah. So no Rolks ever, like other of Rolk. They're gone. But it's just, the Fallen are kind of like done with in their lore, sort of. And same thing with now the Scorn. And the Vex, I mean, they have potential, but I just keep failing on the idea of not like understanding why Bungie doesn't do intense stuff with the Vex now. But yeah, the Vex, the Dread, I mean, even like the Hive, it really depends after how this act goes. I mean, what else is there other than like the Hive worm gods, I guess? I'm not really like, I don't know every little detail about like the Hive and all the lore, but even the Cabal. I mean, we could help, Kydal and the Cabal like get back Tora Bottle, which would sound really cool. But when it comes to like enemy Cabal, I mean, no. Especially when it comes to like big characters like how Callus was. There's not really much there, I think, but still, I just think that when it comes to Frontiers, I hope that they start going, okay, we're gonna start introducing like basically almost where it would be like a Destiny reset on who we're battling now. Because Destiny 1 having those different like alien races and stuff like right away was like a mystery, like, oh, the different houses with the Fallen, which now they're gone. And then you have the Vex. Oh, the mystery of the Vex tech and the Hive and whatever. Those were really cool at the time. But now that we've gotten so accustomed to everything with these, the different enemies and everything, and their lore as well, and making allies with some of them, like the Cabal and Fallen, it's kind of gotten stale on the excitement of any more deep lore with them, unless they can pull things out of like just a mysterious, like, oh, there was something we've never told you that's way huge and blah, blah, blah. They could do that. I don't know. But there needs to be something. And I have faith that Frontiers is going to at least be the not like instantly, but I feel like it's the right step forward to where they could possibly do stuff like that. Like start introducing new enemies and different new lore, including that. We still also have the 9, which could lead to some cool stuff. I mean, that rite of passage is a little bit like oh, what's going on here kind of attitude. So I'm very curious about that. But when it comes to outside the lore, which, yes, the lore is very important, which this episode right now has caught my interest. And at first I was just kind of like, oh, we're bringing back Oryx. Here comes another like, oh, big bad, remember? Like, remember? Oh, I remember. So here you go. And I just thought it was going to be lazy writing. Just trying to, bait people into the interest of the story with nostalgia as usual, which they've been doing a lot. But I was happily surprised that it's interesting. And there's actual, like, tension and drama and cool stuff going on and interesting mysterious stuff like who's controlling the Taken. Like there's so many cool things. And then I love the modes. The Court of Blades, granted though, when they did I think it was the Hive one with the shriek, like the one with all the shriekers, that one I don't even know how you can do that with platinum at this point. Like that one is so, oh my goodness. And I thought the Dread one was tough. I think the Taken one is mainly the easiest one, I believe. But I still like the Court of Blades. And the Nether. At first, I was like, I don't really care. But once I started like getting the feel for it a little bit better, and enjoying my like really good builds and stuff, I've enjoyed it, and I've been actually playing it a lot and doing Fire Team Finder for like expert difficulties and stuff. So I enjoy it. The exotic mission I haven't really played a lot of. That's like where it's like I kind of played it once and then I was done. I wasn't that like, oh man, this is really fun. I would definitely want to grind it 50 times. Thankfully, I don't, at least I don't think so. You don't have to do that anymore. I hated that with a lot of the other exotic missions that we had to do, like the last one, like getting those materials. It sucked, but it's nice this episode. And then the dungeon event thing sounds also really nice. And I've said this so many times that yes, the lore is important, but what makes it more important for me is the game. Fun things that you want to just play. That loot, yes, loot is very important, but loot becomes like almost like a secondary thing in the background of like, well, I also will get this really cool thing. The problem is a lot of content in Destiny is, hey, I'm mainly just doing this for this weapon or whatever loot it is, and I'm done. I don't want to deal with this ever again. It sucks. Like Trials is a pretty good example. Like I like what they're doing with the Trials stuff right now, but it's still bad. And they really need to change a lot of things with it to be more generous, because it's just getting really painful to deal with Trials. But there's a lot of other areas, obviously, like not just there, that have a lot of issues, because like I said, it's where the loot is like the only thing you care about. You don't really care about the mode that you're playing. You're not really having that much fun. You're like, I just want my loot and then I want to be done. And that's a huge issue with Destiny, at least for me. But I've noticed that a lot of people have said the same thing. So with Frontiers, with them making statements about like core activities, this rotating activity thing that would bring back old stuff or whatever from like seasons and such, even like saying like, hey, we're not going to go crazy on Battlegrounds anymore. I think that's what they said. They basically said they were going to pull away from being like, okay, let's just shove Battlegrounds into like strikes, which granted though, you're okay to do this, Bungie, to take those quote unquote Battlegrounds from Act 2 and Act 3 or what all three of them from the first episode, the Vex ones and stuff. Those were strikes. They basically were. They weren't like entirely like, oh, the most insane strike ever, but they felt good to where I would be like, I'd be fine with these being Grandmasters and Nightfalls. They would be really tough to do, but at least they're not boring like Psyops. Get rid of those, because I'm tired of throwing spears at a Savathun 500 times to get to the next part of painful, just spam a bunch of enemies at you at once. Like, I don't like that. So seeing them saying this stuff about core playlists, the main parts of the game, all that stuff, because ever since they went free to play with the strikes and Crucible and all that, I knew that all of a sudden, oh fellas, it's really hard to make PvP maps. It's so expensive. Oh, strikes are so expensive, so here's Battlegrounds instead. Oh, it's too tough. We can't do anything with Gambit. How convenient. Because when you didn't have a focus on the free-to-play, you did a lot of stuff for those core playlists, especially in Destiny 1. Just kind of, I don't like that. Like, I just, them ignoring the core playlist to not evolve it. And not only that, they removed a lot of content, a lot of strikes specifically, that were good. And if we had those, like, at least we would have some good strikes in there. And, you know, maybe now we could see more if like the Sunless Cell is like a tease that they will start doing that more often. But I've been saying they should have been doing that since the beginning. Like, every season they have a strike, a PvP map, and a Gambit map. But they never did. So when it comes to my like full thoughts on if I think that Frontiers will turn the game around, I know that like I said a lot of words, and then it sounds like this is just like what that doesn't really give much an answer. It's just like wait and see. Yeah, wait and see. It's basically a wait and see. But I'm still optimistic on two main things. Again, them making statements about, actually no, three things. First, making statements about the core parts of the game. core experience of the gameplay getting overhauled and even loot getting overhauled, but even saying like, hey, we don't like just throwing battlegrounds in there or whatever, but talking about this new UI change where they'll have all the core stuff that you could do on the screen, like activities, the main video game parts being a huge focus. The other one is that they're trying something new. The 2 expansions instead of one big one, because I've noticed that them just spamming these big expansions leads to one of them being like Lightfall or Beyond Light or whatever. Like I've noticed this, like, we're back, we're gone, we're back, we're gone. Like we would get like something like Witch Queen, and then here's Lightfall. It's just, I've noticed this like trend where the next expansion that after a really, really good one is not going to be as good as the previous one. It's so curious about that. I really am. But overall, it's like I said, it just really, really depends on how things go. But oh yeah, the third thing, almost forgot. The third thing, and this one's very important. Normally when Bungie is at its worst, as in people are leaving the game, Curse of Osiris, panic kind of stuff, the next stuff that they do is normally very good. Forsaken is a prime example. They always seem to get those money-hungry higher-ups to get attention to, listening to the devs that are giving feedback from the feedback that we give them and all that stuff, and be like, okay, just do whatever they want. I need to buy another car. Money makes them actually do things when they lose it. So, we have that. So, those are like my 3 reasons why I'm at least giving some optimism here. I'm not just being like the typical, Bungie fell off, Destiny fell off. I quit. I'm never going to come back. I've always said that I never make those statements of I'm going to quit fully. I've always told people that I take breaks so then I can keep my sanity. But the only time I'll ever quit Destiny is if basically Bungie quits. Like if Destiny just is gone. But for the most part, like I said, that's where I stand on my feelings with everything. With if there's going to be a delay, if Frontiers is going to be good, that's it. I guess, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see when they actually start doing their reveal, which I'm going to assume will happen soon, like maybe at the end of whatever the story stuff with this Act 3 stuff, or maybe right around like when Rite of Passage comes out. We'll soon see. But till then, let's go from there. Let's just have a little optimism, curious optimism. But you let me know. Do you think it's going to be delayed? Do you think Frontiers is going to turn anything for the better for Destiny? Let me know in the comments down below. But regardless, I hope you have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are. Chibi out.